Salutations, family. Welcome back to the Electric Leaf, where it is my goal to assist you in nourishing your mind, your body, and your chakras. But honestly, it's really just my goal to find my soul tribe. Honestly, I want my soul tribe to know that we are out here, y'all. We are. I met a young member of my soul tribe yesterday, and she was such a beautiful heart. I sat and listened to her talk for quite a few hours yesterday, just listening. And I wasn't just listening to hear her talk. I was listening in reflection of what it was that she was feeling and experiencing. And I don't want to get off on a tangent about it, but it just made me feel really thankful inside, along with a lot of other things, you know. But I wanted to talk a little bit about shadow work today. I know that shadow work, it sounds like something really scary. It sounds like something low vibrational. It sounds like something bad. It sounds like something we should avoid, because a shadow, in terms of when we actually think about what it is, you know, in terms of good and bad, light and dark, blah blah blah. But family, we have to close our eyes, honestly, and open this one. Open your mind. Like, a shadow worker is not a bad person. A shadow worker is not a person of bad intent either. A shadow worker is not someone who is who wants to harm or wants to be in low vibes or anything like that, because I'm a shadow worker for sure. I'm a shadow worker because shadow workers tend to be of service to those who are not able to look at the light. So I am a good intentioned shadow worker, because I remember how it felt when I first woke up and the light was too bright. You know, you see what happens when you get all, when the shadow can be a little bit of protection. In the shadow, I can open my eyes up completely. In the shadow, I can see the light better. So a person like me who works in the shadow, who works with the shadows, I'm not trying to manipulate anyone. You know, a good shadow worker is also a light worker. Light workers who are of Christ consciousness, and what I mean by Christ consciousness is the unity of mankind, of just humankind. It really doesn't have anything to do with Christianity or anything like that, or any type of organized religion. It has everything to do with the consciousness, the co-creative consciousness. Co-creatively, we as the human race created this COVID-19 being alone together type of mentality, because it was something that we were already doing before this hit. It was just something that the vibrational signature of that energy manifested in a way that we can all experience it and see what we're doing in the 3D, the physical life, the physical realm. Okay? The physical realm is the space where we get to see the product of the things that we do in the shadow. Okay? Or in the darkness, in the secret space of our heart. Okay? Darkness is a beautiful space because it's infinite. It's infinite possibilities and infinite ways to create, infinite space. I mean, just look at the night sky. Look at the night sky. I say this all the time because shadow work and triggering is work that is dear to my soul. Because anybody who knows me knows that I have suffered at the hands of my own temper. I have been rageful, and not because I wanted to hurt anybody else, but because I myself was hurting. And so and I didn't understand how to communicate that. But honestly, now that I've matured in my walk with the divine, and I'm still continuing to mature, it's never ending. It's never ending. I recognize that I can comfort myself, I can reparent myself, I can be there for myself, and when I do those things, there's no one else to blame. That type of illumination, it takes space. It takes place in the space of darkness, because sometimes through life, our walks of life, we can feel so much like we are alone, that we're doing something all alone, just because a certain set of people that we think should be there for us is not really coming through with the come through like we think they should, And usually it's our family, it's somebody in our family, it's somebody that we think, like, oh, I've been there for them, I did this for them, and they did this, That's not how it works. It's really, you're going through life having a conversation with the Most High through getting to know yourself. You are a part of divine consciousness that is getting to know itself. Okay? And so the shadow, I know it's scary. But honestly, when you look at a shadow, like, stop thinking about what you've been told a shadow should be. Wow. Look at what it actually is in reality. I was sitting at my window the other day doing a reading, and I was focused on the shadow that the tree was casting. And as I was looking at that shadow, the only thing that came to me was the shadow of love is love. The shadow of love is love. Because I'm looking at I was looking at the shadow of the tree, and I was just thinking, like, that's a tree. That's a tree, right? That's a tree. It's a tree. The shadow looks like a shadow of a tree. But then other times you can, as the sun moves across the sky, shadows morph, they distort, right? That's the light doing that. That's the light casting onto the truth, and the shadows are evolving with perspective, right? The shadow is a very fluid energy that allows us to gain new perspectives on things. The shadow provides protection. The shadow is also a way for us to get to see something that we can't look at directly. Like when we have an eclipse of the sun, of course we all want to look up there at it, but our eyes cannot physically handle looking at the sun. Therefore, what do? We get a shadow box to look at the sun. That's how we get to know the divine source, is by observing the shadow. Okay, that's how we protect our eyes, is by observing the shadow. Okay, that's how we preserve our eye, is by looking at the shadow. I want to talk more about this, but I'm almost to the office. So, what do you guys think? As a light worker, first I was in the dark night of the soul, right? I was in the dark night of the soul, praying, Jesus help me. I've got some stories about Yeshua as well, okay? All right, people be sleeping on Yeshua just because we were given Christianity as a form of control of our people. And so we cast away Christianity and we cast away Yeshua as well, not without even realizing that he's one of us. He's one of us. He's the light worker. He was one of the outcasts as well, and even if, no matter what, how the stories went down, he was a light worker. He was a shadow worker as well. Mind you, he went off into the wilderness by himself alone to be the light. to be the light, you know? And so then the devil worked with him and kind of showed him different aspects to test him to see if he was truly what he was saying that he was. And indeed he was, you know? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But that shadow aspect, the aspect of getting to know ourselves and saying, hey, I am that I am. I am that. And I'm not gonna say I'm struggling with it, but the I am, the simply am, the simply be, that sometimes is a little difficult. You know, there's peace in just simply I am. There's peace in simply just being. And sometimes that's not always easy for me. But considering the fact that I know that evolution is always ever present to a mind that is open, I try not to worry about it too much. But in terms of actually doing our shadow work and looking at self and looking into who we are, I don't know. When I was cast into that dark night of the soul, right? I was cast into that dark night of the soul. That was the space where I was calling out. I desired for Jesus to save me. I had a very profound experience with Jesus. That's why I called him then, but now he is Yeshua. I had a very profound exchange with Yeshua. And God bless. Excuse me, family. I apologize. I'm driving. And yeah, it's a funeral procession going by. Mr. Dafford is bringing somebody here, and I just wanted to give respect to the family. So anyway, at that time when I was praying for Yeshua to save me and do things for me, nothing happened, nothing moved, and I was very distraught because I had prayed about something in Jesus' name and just let it go, and it actually manifested overnight. And I want to share that with you. That's why I do work with Yeshua. I do, but it's different now. It's very different. It's much different than what it was before. But in that space of my dark night of the soul, when I was praying and calling out and asking God, like, hey, like, where are you? You know, you told me to pray through the sun. And anyway, I thought I had put my phone on airplane. But anyway, I tried my best in that space to look outside of myself, is what I'm saying. And looking outside of myself was only darkness. It was only darkness. Darkness is the initiation space of the light worker. So in that space, I had to go internal. And inside of myself, I found my internal flame, my internal, eternal flame. And through finding that flame, I found my reflection, and I started to feel like I was on a twin flame journey. I actually externalized my twin flame journey initially, and that's why I was initially failing at it, because I thought that it was dependent upon another physical person, but it wasn't. It was so much more profound than that. What I found was that I was being shown my own reflection, my own flame's reflection in every situation, in every scenario, everywhere I went. You know, and so it just evolved. I saw myself as more than the feminine. I actually started to find healing and peace when I made peace with the fact that, you know what, I actually think that I have more masculine characteristics than the person that I felt was my true twin flame, which I looked at him as a masculine energy. But when I really reflected on it, it was more opposite, and I was pointing fingers at myself the whole entire time. That is shadow work. A shadow worker is always about unconditional love, because unconditional love means that you love without condition. Meaning that when the sun begins to move across the sky and the shadow of the tree begins to morph and change, it means that no matter what that shadow looks like, the faith within me knows that that is the shadow of the tree, and that I don't have to be afraid, because remember, fear is the opposite of love. So I don't have to be afraid that that shadow may look like a scary monster. I know that that is proof that there is still light and that there is still the tree. And I can find peace in that, and I can find unconditional love in that. The 3D realm is the only space where shadows are even relevant. Because we have things, right? We have heaps of things. Anytime the light is cast upon us, we cast a shadow, right? We cast a shadow. Anytime the light shines upon us, there's a shadow. So when we're praying for God to save us, and we're praying for God to shine a light on me, don't waste your time squinting at the light. Look at the shadow. Look at yourself. It doesn't have to be scary, but look at the shadow so you can see yourself. That doesn't make you low vibrational. It may make you aware of some of your low vibrational characteristics, but that's what we're supposed to be doing, because it's not, some people will be sitting there looking at you and see you got tissue stuck on the back of your shoes, see that you got dirt on your back, and they won't tell you. Try to see yourself in a 360 as much as possible, so that you can heal yourself, and accept others. Look at the shadow. Okay? When you are thrown into darkness, that's the space for you to create. And that's the space for you that creation is the self-illumination. You are creating that flicker, you're pushing it into a flame. And how do you do that? With air. Your heart chakra, that's the space of air, right? So you do that. You turn that flicker into a flame by nurturing it with the word that is coming from source, that is hidden in the darkness of your heart. Okay? When you take that air and you nurture that flame of your soul, your solar plexus, oh my goodness. All of our energies, all of our chakras work together. That's when you start to see how they work together. And when you start to work with them, when you start to work with them in overlapping principles and overlapping ways, that's when you know that you are coming into alignment. And alignment is not like, I'm aligned and I'm aligned forever. Yes, it's not like that. It's like, in this moment, I feel absolute uncertainty that I am aligned. I feel my aura is golden. You hear the downloads. You write the words. You paint the painting. You sew the clothes. Whatever it is that God works through you to do, you feel it in that moment of alignment, and you're creating. So be gentle with yourself in the moments of experiencing times where you need to look at the shadow. Okay? There is nothing wrong with any of it. There's nothing wrong with the light. There's nothing wrong with the shadow. There's nothing wrong with either one. The problem that comes in is when we don't look at our intentions wholeheartedly. There aren't many people in the world who just want to be evil. It's just that some people in the world don't understand how what they desire affects other people. And so that's when we start to get into these, what is your intention? what is your intention? There's been a lot of bad things that have happened in the name of love, and we all know that. We all know that. So, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Okay? So, let's just be mindful of our intentions. Don't get so caught up on, trying to label something good or bad. Just observe your own intentions moment to moment and whatever it is that the divine is calling you to do. Don't go shining your light in people's eyes that just woke up. How would you feel? You know how it feels when you first wake up. Man, don't cut the light on. Man, don't be making all that noise. You know how it feels when you first wake up. So be mindful of that. Understand that energy. As some of us who are shadow workers, because we are designed to work with the young people. We're not the young people, Lord have mercy, but I feel like it. We're designed to work with those who are just waking up, is what I mean. Because that little girl that I talked to yesterday, oh my goodness, she was woke. She was born woke. That little girl, I'm sitting there listening to her like, gosh, it took me to get into my 30s before I understood these concepts that this queen is talking about. Wow. Like, I have chills. You see, I have chills thinking about that little girl's conversation. I mean, she's not a little girl. Oh my gosh. She's 18. Nikia, she's 18. Okay, but anyway, family, I have arrived, all right? And I want to talk more to you all about this. How do you all feel? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, family, continue to vibrate love and vibrate well. Peace.